All right, everybody, this is Cholera, and we're rocking and rolling with an extra caster. Rise has arisen, and he is going to be casting with me and Diggity here. We're going to be casting set 3. Calm is going to be facing Zero from Woonjin Stars. Zero, of course, spoilers on the MSL. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Spoiled! Savior lost to Zero in the round of 8 in a ZVZ in a best of 5. And Zero is now in the the semifinals of the MSL. I mean, he's never gotten that far, of course, in any Star League. Calm, on the other hand, is banging Toss Girl, by the way. For those of you who don't know, that guy on the left is somehow dating Toss Girl, at least according to recent reports. I do not know how that happens in Korea.
He's well hung.
It makes me want to fly there and live there and meet Jungmi. On I Love Star, of course. But anyway, ZVZ, hey, hey. Anyway, go ahead, Diggity.
So Calm, this is a pretty big match for him. This is the strongest matchup once again. This is going to be on Neo Harmony. Again, another 4-player map. Hard to hold your secondary, so I can't imagine either of these players going 12th hatch, even in the dark. But yeah, Mensol, this is going to be huge for him. He's got this ZVZ, then he's going up against Luxury, who apparently arguably is the best Zerg versus Zerg player in practice, at least. Even better than Jaedong, they say. However, he hasn't been able to prove it on the big screen. But this is going to be a big test. If he's being sent out against Calm, who's a very solid versus Zerg player, and this is going to bode a lot for his next stage of the MSL, whether he's going to be up for the fight against Luxury or not. And it looks like both players are going to end up scouting the cross position from their own base. So it's going to be a while before they actually get a scout on one another. But again, I can't imagine either player going 12 hatch, at least not inside the base. That would be extremely, extremely risky on a map like this, particularly with a secondary that's just where you can have Zerglings basically coming in from either side. No visible choke to really block off. But anyway, anything can happen, so I guess we'll see.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of or at least I've seen a couple of interesting ZVZs on this map, and one of them I remember both players did go for a 12 hatch, but there was some slight variation in terms of when the first player got their gas versus the other one. Actually, I think it was Hyuk versus someone. I can't remember who he was playing. And it was a cross-map position. I mean, that's one of the things about this map is it's pretty big. So, both of these players are scouting in the wrong direction. It's going to be a while before they see what the other player is doing. So I'm not entirely sure how this build order is going to work out. I mean, it looks like we're seeing a 9 pool from Calm with quick gas right after it. And that could work out to his favor. But it looks like we just saw a 12 pool coming from Zero. So Zero actually going to have a little bit of an advantage here right off the bat. He's going to be able to defend against this 9 pool without much of a problem. Again, this map is very big, and right now Calm doesn't know where he is. He may know in the very near future, but it's going to be a little while before he's able to spot him directly.
Yeah, I mean, it's not impossible to lose with a 12 pool against a 9 pool, or rather for a 9 pool to beat a 12 pool, I guess is the right way of saying it, because the 9 pool will have faster tech, whether it's, Zergling speed or whether it's a lair, and especially if they can take down the expansion. So we're seeing, once again, the 12 pool into expansion. That seems to be standard whenever someone goes 12 pool. And, it's a powerful ability if you can hold your expansion, but I mean, honestly, Rise, would you say that most of you guys, I would say most of the games where I've seen a 12 pool go up against a 9 pool or an over pool or whatever, and the 12 pool has expanded, I've seen the 12 pool lose. Because the other players are just so good at putting pressure with Zerglings and later on with Mutalisk. So I just don't know whether this is a winning strategy or not. I mean, obviously you can win, but doesn't necessarily mean it's a great strategy. Anyway, it looks like Calm is going to try to get up the ramp here. He's not going to be able to, it seems, because Zero has pulled a lot of drones and he's blocking. But this is costing him mining time also, of course, with, God, what is that, 6 drones being pulled from mining, and 8 lings still threatening his base, so he has to leave him there. This is not what he wants right now.
Yeah, when you go with this, you get an economic advantage. You don't want to squander that economic advantage. Unfortunately now, this is the worst possible scenario. He's being contained on his own base. He can't defend that additional hatchery. So things not looking good at all. It looks like he's going to drone drill his way out, but he doesn't want to lose drones on top of it, especially after a 12 pull. That, I mean, it's your economic advantage that you have. And that was a really bad drill right there. Going to lose all of his drones, going to lose most of his Zerglings, and there's still a superior Zergling force on the ground for Calm. So Calm really coming out ahead in that attack. And it looks like at the very least some Zerglings out on the ground to try to harass those additional Zerglings. But this is, again, he can, Calm right now can continue to tech up. He can continue to and force Zerglings to be produced rather than drones on the opposite end. It looks like he's already got that Spire, and we'll see if there's a Spire on the, but not even a lair on the opposite end. So this is going to force a very, very defensive game from Menzel. He better get that Evolution Chamber down now, because it looks like that layer is almost about just the way the structure is looking, about halfway, maybe 2/3 finished. And yeah, he's going to be in a bad situation, has nothing to defend it. He's not going to have his Overlords out in the field. So yeah, just produce a lot of Zerglings now, get your Evolution Chamber down, and just pray. It looks like Calm knows that, and he's got that Sun Colony Ori in the back of his base. Looks like a couple Zerglings managing to slip through, but I don't know how much damage they're going to do, especially with the Sun Colony just on the verge of popping. Even if he takes down a drone or two, those Mulisks are going to be out in the field in short order.
Yeah, it looks like he's actually just going to go all in Lings at this point. I don't know if he's even going to bother trying to get any other tech up. If he can go all in Lings and do a lot of damage, he could be in pretty good shape if he can keep taking out drones, because it's going to be difficult to keep making mutas or anything like that, and he could slowly pick them apart if he does it well. Looks like he's got a large force in there, but again, that sunken placement is really good, and that Spire is now up, so you can be sure that those eggs have mutas in them. And oh, he's going to get a great surround on that sunken, and he's probably going to be able to take it down. It looks like there are Lings trying to defend that, and they are attacking, but no, the sunken goes down, and now the defenses are going to be much weaker in Calm's base. And in the meantime, looks like we're seeing Evolution Chamber and probably a couple of Spore Colonies going down at both the expansion and the natural base for Menzel. So I mean, Menzel going to be pretty well protected against, you know, up to 6 or so muta. But as soon as Calm can start getting more than that, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. But if he can keep the pressure on with the Lynx, he may be able to do some more damage. And again, if he can get some economic damage done to Calm, he's going to be in great shape. But he didn't really do any economic damage last time. All he managed to do was take down that sunken. So Calm is definitely now on the offensive, and he's going to try to do his best to just pick away at some drones here and there as he can, and really keep Menzel from getting back in this game.
Yeah, I mean, Menzel is hugely behind. I actually thought he would be able to do more damage than he did with those Lings there. I mean, he got a great surround around the sunken, but Calm had just great Zergling positioning throughout his entire base. I mean, he just managed to protect all the angles correctly and save all of his drones, which is so critical. Now he's getting a second hatchery, and right now, I mean, he can't do that much to the Spore Colony, but he can just keep building up his mutas, and he'll always have more mutas than Calm will. I mean, than Zero will, because Zero's it's gonna take forever. I don't even know if he's ever gonna get mutas. At this point, he doesn't look like he's mining gas, so he's just hoping he can get it done with Zerglings alone, I think, because yeah, I don't see any gas mining going on. Nope, no gas mining. So it's gonna be the problem with this is it's such a transparent build. I mean, Calm has practiced against this before many times, I guarantee. How to micro one base Mutalisks, one hatch Mutalisks against all in Lings, and he's gonna be able to get enough Mutalisks to protect his base and to be able to you know, kill off the Lings and eventually expand and do all that good stuff and just pick up a permanent advantage. Looks like now he's actually just building Lings. He's also not mining gas, interesting enough. So right now I guess he's just a little bit concerned about losing to these all-out Lings, so he's gonna just not mine gas for a while, I guess.
Yeah, and wow, the Spore Colony coverage not protecting, one, the Evolution Chamber, or two, it looks like that back edge of drones. He's lucky he didn't lose more drones than that. This is the thing, it's very, very calm for Menzel right here. You can just, I'm sorry, for Calm right here, you can just bring that those Mutalisks back and kill off the Zerglings if they threaten, and do this, take an additional expansion. He's already got 2 hatcheries up. It looks like Calm is in fact going to, dang, I keep mixing up the players. Zero is in fact going to see that. Looks like he might get a drone kill, but that's not going to last very long, and that's not going to help him out too much, especially when he's going to be down in production in a second. Hero Zergling, though, it looks like it managing to run and get some spotting and come back out. But this is the other issue, is you got to protect those Zerglings out in the field. Zero very worried about those Zerglings, because the Mulisks can just pick them out in free range, and if he ends up losing too many Zerglings, then he's not going to have anything to defend his Spore Colonies, which is the only thing that are keeping the Mulisks back. So I really feel like Calm has a pretty good lock on this game. I'm not sure what Zero can actually physically do to get back in this, and it looks like he's charging in with Zerglings alone, seeing that there's not a lot of Mulisks in the air. Just going to try to take as much damage as possible, force his way up the ramp. Might be able to take that secondary down, because it looks like, looks like Calm was skimping a little bit on the secondary forces, but yeah, after they died on the ramp, just immediately able to push back out. As soon as that third hatchery is up, it will be GG. The production as well as the economic advantage will just be too large in Calm's favor. Like, there's nothing that Zero will be able to do to get back into this. And right there, sneaking through, able to pick out a drone on top of everything else. That just, that's I don't know what to call that. Additional blood on top of the blood. It's just not working out well. Nothing going right here for Zero.
Yeah, and I got to say, Calm is playing this extremely safe, and Zero's actually getting up a Spire at this point. I think it was just scouted by Calm. I'm not entirely sure. Zero, again, trying to go in with those Lings, do some damage, at least keep the Ling numbers down, I guess. And this is kind of like throwing his units away. I'm a little surprised that he's playing like this. I mean, it's he's slowly working his way back in the match, but I guess he felt that he really needed to do something to get fully back in it. I mean, he's not really working his way back in, but the thing is, Calm is giving him time to kind of build up his forces, you know. So I almost think that Zero's kind of maybe he's just a little deluded that he might be able to get back in this game, and that's why we haven't seen a GG. But it looks like Calm is refocused his efforts on making Muta, and at this point, I mean, it doesn't even look like we're seeing many Lings coming from Zero anymore. He's pumping out of one hatchery his Lings. The other one, he's not even getting gas from the expansion that he has up there. So I mean, maybe he's got to be so far behind in minerals, spending all that on gas. I'm sorry, on Lings, and not having any gas to make Muta, that he's having trouble. Maybe I don't know. I think he can't even figure out what to do at this point.
Well, I mean, theoretically, if he gets like one Scourge hit on each Muta, perfectly cloned, and each of the Mutas get hit by one other Muta of his, then he can kill all the Mutas and then win. But obviously, he's holding hope that somehow Zero will just Calm will just let him do that, and obviously Calm is not going to let him do that. Calm going in now with many more Lings than Zero has, and this is going to be it here for Zero. He's just going to get pwned in the face here by these Zerglings, getting all the Scourge. The Scourge is watching right now. They're like, oh, what's going on, man? I can't do anything. And a very smart move there, actually, I got to say, in the end game here by Calm, going for all Lings, kind of a head fake. He actually didn't build a lot of Mutas at all. He just got enough to defend, and instead he's gone 3-hatched Lings, and it's fine, because there's nothing left here for Calm to be able, for Zero to be able to do anything about. So Zero just getting taken out pretty easily by Calm, and this doesn't necessarily bode well, in my opinion, for his game against Luxury, because 12 pool is not supposed to be this weak against a 9 pool. I mean, granted, Zero had very good sense there and did a very good. Sorry, Calm had very good sense and did a very nice attack, but Zero should have been able to defend that better, I think. And that drone drill was very weak, as Diggity said.
I think he got a little bit greedy in taking that additional expansion as well. Again, it's just so hard to defend it. I think he would have been okay just playing standard from that stage on, getting your Mutalisks out, just keeping that advantage rather than just trying to play it like a 12 hatch and trying to absorb attacks from there. And he's just got those last two Mutalisks. I think after that, maybe he was thinking here in this late stage of the game that he would have the Spore Colonias up and then he could, build a Mutalisk force. But you can't expect a player like Calm to just sit on that and let you do that. So getting knocked out after one game, that does not bode well for him in his upcoming match versus Luxury. Maybe it's one of those intentional throws. I'm going to look aggravated and play really bad Zerg versus Zerg to make Luxury overconfident or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, right now Calm taking down 2, putting his team in a really good position into set 3, so 2 versus 1. And now the question is who does Woonjin send out? Do you think it's free time, or are they going to kind of dance around one more to get it really on the edge before
it's
they
Oregon
throw it out?
time. It's
Oregon. They're going to send out Piano.
Oregon. Big name,
Wow.
big name.
Big name. No, Piano's actually...
Oregon time. Not, is that Piano?
He was a good... Yeah, that's Piano. Same name.
Okay.
He's upgrading slowly over time. I actually had this discussion with people in the past. Eventually he's going to be like Pipe Organ, and then eventually, he'll like... Electric guitar
Marching
will be
band.
his end game, I guess. Yeah, marching band. Eventually he'll work his way to Maestro with the Dunch. But, yeah, the...
I think so.
he's a pretty solid Terran player. It's just he's looked lackluster, and I think his last 3 games that I've seen him play. Prior to that, I was like, wow, this is going to be an upcoming kid, and then he had that all-kill for a second, but maybe he'll see some all-kill action here. But after seeing his last 2 games, I don't know. So that match coming up. Hope you guys enjoy this thus far. Gonna move on to the next match.